An AEW star hasn't re-signed with the company. A former WWE star has debuted in the company. And on top of that, we're going to talk about some huge changes to the Judgment Day. It's all coming up right here on the Ango Show. Yes. Welcome back to TAS. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to kick things off with street trash. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, and that's exactly what we are starting to see because there has been a new report by WrestleVotes. And get this, the plan is for WWE to potentially name the new Judgment Day Street Trash. According to WrestleVotes, they put out a tweet. Plans are in motion to rebrand the new Judgment Day. Sources say the group's essence will stay the same, but a name change is likely. And the leading candidate is an out-of-the-box yet bold idea. Street Trash. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. I don't really know how else to say it. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. Probably going to make a lot of money for merchandise, to be honest with you. I could see a lot of benefits to the merchandise sales. But when it comes to respectable faction names, we've seen NWO, DX, Bullet Club, The New Day, the Wyatt family, the Wyatt Six. I mean, guys, I literally cannot stop laughing about the idea of WWE naming a faction Street Trash. I don't understand the purpose of it other than possibly just selling a lot of merchandise. But if you're looking at a credible name for a faction, this definitely isn't it. And I'm not trying to bag on WWE, and obviously nothing is official until it officially happens. But WrestleVotes is usually very credible when it comes to information like this. So just the idea in general doesn't sit right with me. I'm hoping WWE is like leaking out false information regarding this because I just don't see how, you know, I can understand like maybe a writer pitching it, but like I can't understand Triple H, the head of creative, being like, hey, this is a good idea. It's strange. Very, very strange. And here's the thing. The group as of right now consists of Carlito, Liv Morgan, Dominic, JD McDonough, and obviously Finn Balor. I mean, maybe they don't want this group to work out long term and just use it to put over Damian and Rhea Ripley. I don't know. Maybe that's the plan. But if the plan is to give them a shitty name in hopes of pushing the baby faces, I still think that's really dumb. I'm really hoping I'm going to eat my words here. But truth be told, guys, I just don't really see any positives out of this. And, you know, for Finn Balor, I love the guy. But this is a guy that was part of Bullet Club. He comes to WWE. Did some great things in WWE, but right now you're building momentum for the guy. Do you really want him to build momentum under a faction called Street Trash? Do you guys get my point? Okay, maybe it's redundant. I think it sucks. Let's move on. Daniel Garcia apparently hasn't re-signed with the company. I wanted to bring some clarification of this because there's been a lot of talks regarding Daniel Garcia. And thankfully, Fightful Select came out and they reported that Garcia's deal with AEW expires in October. One top name in AEW believes he is staying in the company and speculated as recently as last week that he would re-sign with the promotion. However, as of this writing, Daniel Garcia has not signed to a new deal. And obviously, you know, we got to put this out there. According to Fightful, there is interest from WWE in Daniel Garcia. Obviously, there's interest from AEW retaining Daniel Garcia, so that is something that is very important to mention. But let's talk about the bidding war. Let's talk about maybe the pros and cons of Daniel Garcia staying or possibly going to WWE. Look, the pro is that this is a company that has had him before WWE. He's an AEW homegrown talent. That's the best way to look at him. He gets that advantage by staying with AEW if they prioritize him, if they push him. There's a lot of good that could come from that, right? Also, let's not be dumb. If WWE's interested in you and AEW's interested in you, more than likely it's going to push AEW to spend a little bit more money, which could make a lot of sense because AEW is preparing to get a new TV deal, which opens up even more money for financial freedom to obtain or sign free agents. And obviously, I think we should mention that one of the pros for Daniel Garcia in AEW is that he might not have to necessarily start over. What do I mean by that? If Daniel Garcia were to go to WWE, I feel like he would be going straight to NXT. Even though I don't think he should go straight to NXT. I feel like he's main roster ready. I feel like he's got the character work down. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. I feel like he would be a really good asset on Fridays or Mondays. But I feel like WWE would move him to NXT. That's not a bad thing. Going to NXT, winning the NXT championship, getting called up, I don't see any issue with that. But when I say that Daniel Garcia would essentially have to start over, a lot of that experience that he's built in AEW and a little bit of that, you know, I don't know exactly the term I'm thinking of, but, you know, he's built that kind of loyalty to AEW. They've had him for a long time. Him starting over in another place could sometimes not always be a good thing. I like Daniel Garcia. I would love to see him on TV every week. I would love to see him booked as a champion every week. I would love to see this guy get more opportunities every week. Where I want him is the place that's going to do that, because I really respect his talent. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler, but also he's just such a great character and he makes wrestling cool. So if he hasn't re-signed with AEW and WWE's interested, it doesn't mean he's going to WWE. It just means that AEW hasn't re-signed him, and that could be an opportunity that he takes. We'll obviously keep you updated on this subject as time goes on. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our final topic. AEW ROH has brought in Scripps, aka Reggie. This is actually pretty cool, because if you guys have watched my videos, especially when Scripps left WWE, I've been very keen on saying how talented he is. Reggie, also known as Scripps, also known as Sidney Akeem, he made his debut in Ring of Honor. He got to wrestle Johnny TV, aka John Morrison, and this will be airing on Ring of Honor. Look, I like this guy a lot, man. I do. I think he's talented. He's really talented in the ring. He did some cool stuff on the WWE main roster with Carmella. He went to NXT. They put a mask on his face. That was a dumb decision, but the guy's talented. And the guy obviously clearly has a path moving forward in pro wrestling, because after WWE, we saw him go to GCW, and that was really cool. But my point that I'm making here is there's nothing that suggests that Sidney Akeem is in AEW Ring of Honor long term. And what I would do if I was Tony Khan, I would actually sign him to Ring of Honor. I would try to really identify what that roster is going to look like, because the people that are currently on the main roster that are also working ROH should not be on there. There needs to be a brand split between AEW and Ring of Honor completely 100%. And if you bring in Sidney Akeem in ROH, you're definitely going to get some great matches out of him. And that's what I would do if I were Tony Khan. Whether he signs long term or not, there's no information on that. So obviously, I'll keep you guys updated along the way. But let me know what you guys think down below. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching The Ango Show.